Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for hopping on. My name is Ransom Onyema. I'm a radiography student, a medical writer, and a YouTuber. So thank you so much for hopping on. So today I have an amazing guest speaker. He's an amazing guest speaker. I'll give him the platform to introduce himself. Dr. Lewis, a medical doctor in London. Hey, could you introduce yourself to the audience?
Okay, thank you, Ransom. So I'm Dr. Lewis Thomas, and I'm based in Manchester, and I work as a life coach, and have been a general practitioner for the past 6 years. Well, qualified for the past 6 years, and I am now helping people as a life coach after going through my own sort of career transition where I felt that um, basically being a doctor wasn't giving me the fulfillment that I originally expected, and was having a lot of negative impacts on my health. So the process of sort of leaving a career like medicine was quite a struggle. And it's led me to sort of create this life coaching service for other people who are, having the same issues, and supporting them with developing clarity and purpose now.
Mm, mm, mm. Thank you, Dr. Lewis, for introducing yourself. And I believe that um, the audience now have a snippet about who you are. So, um, in a nutshell, this is a mental chat I created with Dr. Lewis because I knew Dr. Lewis from LinkedIn, and I've loved his journey thus far. And but the snippet about this amazing talk show is about the personal experiences of Dr. Lewis with sickle cell diseases because currently he's battling with sickle cell diseases. So if you're an audience, you're battling with sickle cell disease, you're not alone. So Dr. Lewis is going to share his personal experiences with sickle cell disease and how it's influenced his decision to pursue career in medicine and others. So get ready for it. So Dr. Lewis, we have a couple of questions for you to answer. I know you're ready for it. So the first question for you is, like I said, can you share with us your personal experiences with sickle cell diseases and how it's influenced your decision to pursue a career in medicine and later transition into life coaching. Talk us there.
Yeah, so it's been like it's had a major impact on my decision to go into medicine, and also my decision to exit medicine. So I have sickle cell SC disease, which has been causing sickle cell crises since I was around sort of 12. I had my first admission to hospital with a sickle cell crisis. So prior to that, I'd had like a really healthy, normal childhood. And during the hospital admission, I had really intense pain from the sickle cell crisis, and that was something that made me realize that for the rest of my life, I would, be facing these kind of scenarios, and I needed to learn how to look after myself. But also, I got an appreciation for the impact of pain and suffering. And I feel like naturally that became something that I then wanted to help others to avoid. So being, interested in science, I went into medicine, and I thought that was the best way for me to help other people, but also have the knowledge to look after myself, and obviously try and avoid these painful sickle cell crises. Um, for me, I feel like I wasn't like very severe with the level of sickle cell disease that I had. So I was quite fortunate in that for the majority of time, you know, when I was a kid and growing up, I was able to live quite a normal life. I'd have a crisis maybe couple of times a year on average. And then that would just be kind of like a complete knockback, this kind of invisible disease that no one saw coming, I didn't see coming. Um, and I guess I sort of went through the process of learning what my triggers were, in terms of things like overexerting myself, you know, changes in the temperature, becoming dehydrated, and getting to know all of these triggers that would cause crises, um, and learn how to kind of navigate normal life through that, especially you know, with the impact of other people seeing me as like a normal person that didn't have any sort of like physical illness. It was very hard when, you know, out of the blue, I'd just become, you know, very sort of very sick, and need to be admitted to hospital. Um, you know, so going through the normal sort of social scene in university, and everything was tough. But then once I became a doctor, things changed. And that was basically because I'd entered a different level of stress, which was just chronic stress from working long hours, nights, sleep deprivation, and just the stress and strain of the job. Um, which there isn't a lot of an awful lot of support for. It's within medicine very much a case of you just have to, you know, sink or swim. Everybody wants to do this. It's part of the culture. It's just one of those things that's accepted. Um, but for me, with sickle cell, that chronic stress was making me have more crises than I normally would have. I'd got to a level by then where I had some control over all of the triggers that I had like mentioned before, but I couldn't control the stress of just doing my job and trying to help other people, working in this system that created the stress. I had no control over that. So the, you know, medical career and progression is quite a long journey, and everyone wants to get to the end. You know, you want to finish what you started. So I guess I went through that and just was determined to qualify, complete training, but at the same time was becoming more and more miserable at the way that I was having to sort of live my life, and under constant threat of having sickle cell crises because of the work I was doing. So that's what eventually led to this need to change, to make a change. You know, a lot of people within the medical career, like my colleagues, GPs, they were also unhappy. But for me, I was unhappy and I was experiencing pain because of it. So that's when I said, no, I have to make a change. I have to do something more. And to not extend the story too long, that's basically when I realized that I still want, I need to find another way of helping people, which is healthier for me. And that's what led me to life coaching. So using the skills that I'd got as a doctor and GP, but applying it in a context where I'm able to, you know, have more control and also just feel more more purposeful. and have these, conversations with people about their lives and their goals and aspirations. And that's the kind of like motivational experience, helping people overcome challenges, that I just feel so passionate about, because my whole life I've just been overcoming this constant challenge with sickle cell. Um, so that's where I am, at the moment. Sort of went into medicine because of sickle cell, left medicine because of sickle cell, and now, yeah, now we're here.
Amazing. This is kind of like an amazing and terrible experience altogether. Dr. Lewis, thank you so much for talking us through about your personal experiences with, sickle cell diseases and how it's influenced your decision to pursue a career in medicine and later transition into life coaching. It's terrible to hearing that a disease can regress someone's life, like
Mm,
to living like in a particular way. For instance, HIV and AIDS. Someone has an HIV and AIDS. The way you were living without HIV and AIDS is gonna be different with you living with HIV and AIDS. That's also applicable to sickle cell diseases. And it's amazing that you're fighting the battles and you're winning as well. So, Dr. Lewis, you're an impetum of inspiration for other people battling with sickle cell diseases. Because 2 days ago I was just going through TikTok. I was like seeing a lot of people like talking about sickle cell diseases or something. You
okay.
know, it's terrible. People crying about the diseases is so terrible. Like I don't want to you know digress further about sickle cell disease because of time. Because I want it's just making me to talk more about what the disease is all about. But because of time, it's just I just have to take a pause about that. So Dr. Lewis, you're also an example to other medical doctors there. You have other interests as well. Take for instance me now. I'm a radiography student heading to my finals very soon. And apart from my studies, I do writings as well, medical writings as well. I
Mm,
do content creation, especially on YouTube. So these are other interests apart from
yeah.
my study in radiography. That's also applicable to other medical doctors or medical students out there. You can have other interests, other extracurricular activities. It could be an ambassador for a particular program. It could be a content creator on YouTube like me. It could be any other thing. It
Mhm.
mustn't be medicine. You know, it's good to digress a little bit. So thank you so much,
Yeah.
Dr. Lewis, for talking us there about that. So the next question for you is because I know you've transitioned, into life coaching. So talk us through what really inspired you to create the empowerment clinic. Tell me what really made you that to do that thing. Talk us through.
So the Empowerment Clinic is my coaching program, and the the essence of what I wanted to do was help people to overcome the barriers that prevent them from doing what they really want to do in life. um, and a lot of it is just mental barriers. It's mindset. It's the way we think. It's like you're saying. A lot of people in medicine feel like that's the only thing that they can do, and they might have other interests, but not actually be following them. So, like when I was in med school, like I was just kind of like, I'm just medicine. That's it. I'm not doing not thinking about anything else other than that. That's my job. That's you know a lifelong career, and this way of thinking can get you in trouble further down the line, because it means that you're not being proactive in terms of pursuing any other interest when they arise. And it means that when you get to the point where you're feeling unhappy and you're feeling miserable, instead of doing anything about it, instead of taking action, you start making excuses, and you start accepting that this is just the way it is because everyone around you is doing the same thing. And as humans, we're social animals. We're going to conform, and that pressure to conform is very strong, and it takes a lot to overcome that. So the empowerment clinic is really about helping people who have a little spark of an idea, who know that they want to do something different, they want to change. They can appreciate that the path that they're on is not going to lead them to happiness, but they don't quite know how to go about, making that change, and just need the support. A lot of it is about just helping people get clear on what their vision of the future is, what the ideal future that they want looks like, and just developing that sense of belief that it's possible to change. All of the sort of investment in medicine, all of the time and energy, it doesn't have to be wasted. It doesn't have to be lost. When we focus on that, it makes it so much more difficult to change. So the empowerment clinic is the life coaching that I provide, where we just have a conversation, and essentially it's a structured conversation where I'm asking powerful coaching questions that help raise people's awareness of what really matters to them in life, what their interests are, what they see themselves doing, in the future, and just creating a real goal to move towards, and then helping them to put together actions step by step that are going to lead them towards that goal.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lewis, for sharing what really inspired you to, create the empowerment clinic. So if you're battling with sickle cell diseases, or you've had an encounter with sickle cell disease, we'd love to hear your story. So you can, talk us through, by sharing your story in the comment section, so they can inspire the audiences or inspire people as well. So if you're also looking for a life coach, Dr. Lewis, he has lived by example. Like to say, experience is the best teacher. I think Dr. Lewis has a lot of experiences in medicine and also as a life coach. So if you need a life coach, in terms of anything, pertaining to, supporting you with, your life decisions, your math students, you're looking for like a mentor, a life coach, I think Dr. Lewis is there for you. If you want to connect with Dr. Lewis, his details will be in the description below. So go over there and reach out to Dr. Lewis. To Dr. Lewis, the third question for you is, as a physician with sickle cell disease, what challenges have you faced balancing your health, your career, and advocacy work? Talk us through.
Mhm. Yeah, great question. I was going to mention this earlier, but I forgot. Just reminded me now. So when I was initially starting work as a junior doctor, because the medical rotas were so understaffed, we're constantly doing the work of two, three people. So when that inevitably led to me having sickle cell crisis and having to take time off with work, there would be some times where I would be in pain and just wanting to push through and finish my shift, because I know if I'm not there, well, the way that I saw things at the time, I thought if I'm not there, then there's going to be people that suffer because of it. Um, so I would sometimes even go back to work too soon before I was fully recovered as well. Um, and I think that just sort of highlights the fact that when you're a doctor, it's very difficult to be sick and be unwell yourself and take time off, because you're working with people who need you, like it's their people's lives, and you feel that you're just so responsible for carrying that you're just constantly putting other people before yourself. So it took me a long time to realize, as a doctor with my own chronic disease, that I have to put myself first and I have to, take care of myself. Um, so it's it led me to this place where I knew that in order for me to function with someone as a chronic disease, not someone pretending that I didn't have the disease, or like trying to fit in with everyone else. My version of balance needs to be more weighted towards doing the things that I need to do to prevent myself from getting unwell. So making sure I was drinking like plenty of water, like if that means carrying around a massive water bottle, like just pinning it to my bag, or whatever, then I do that, and I make my own adaptations so that I'm having like rest breaks and eating healthy. Yeah, I mean, there's not much time in the day to like cook healthy meals when you're on call and doing all these things. So I would just be initially eating pizzas and ordering takeaways and stuff. That changed. I just focused on making the time to look after myself, to eat healthy, to exercise, and not be influenced by the majority, and just sort of like focus on myself, and also be kinder to myself when I did need the time to recover and was unwell, and not feel so kind of guilty about constantly thinking, oh, there's people worse off than me. That means that, I just need to like struggle on, battle through. Um, Overcoming that guilt, I think, took a very long time, even as a even as an experienced GP, like taking the day off work to rest and recover when you're sick is a really difficult decision, because you know that you have lots of patients booked in, and you know that we're so short staffed, everyone's really craving this GP appointment, and you feel like you're letting people down. um but yeah, in terms of like the balance, I feel like that made me think ahead to the future. So I'm thinking like, if I don't change and get my life more balanced, what are things going to look like in 30 years time? What are things going to look like when I retire? Am I just going to retire from this really intense, stressful career, which quite frankly has made me more unhappy than it has given me fulfillment? And I'm going to retire and then just have to live with the effects of sickle cell, um, because of all the chronic stress that I've been under those 30 years. Um, and thinking about that, I was like, no, like I need to do something that is a lot healthier than this. Um, and that basically means that I need to create my own way of helping people, um, and use the skills and experiences that I've had in my life to help other people, get to get to the same result a lot quicker without having to suffer so much. Um, so I guess, yeah, part of it is just kind of like spreading the message and just trying to help people and advise people about living, a healthy, balanced life, and not sort of succumbing to this pressure to just kill yourself because you're guilty about having to like whole carry the healthcare system that you're working in, um, you know, because
It's
of the
amazing to
culture.
amazing, Luis. Your journey is really very emotional, you know, and I know the audience as well are emotional as well. Um, thank you so much for telling us true about the challenges you've faced back to your health, career, and advocacy work. And it's good to hear that you take good care of yourself first prior to your career or your advocacy work, and also your clients as well. You have to take good care of yourself because of your chronic disease. And um, we wish you the best in everything you do. Dr. Lewis, we're here to support you as well and your community as a large. So just keep doing what you're doing, and God has really blessed you as well.
Thank you.
So yeah, the next question for you is: what advice would you give to future healthcare professionals with chronic illnesses who are looking to achieve a successful career in medicine? What advice do you have for them?
Um, I think my best advice would be to be proactive early on, and like I said, to think about the future in terms of like retirement, 20-30 years in the future, and think about what that will look like if you carry on your current trajectory, because you have to, I think, know yourself and know your disease well, and know what you need in order to thrive. So figuring that out early by experimenting and doing lots of and trying lots of different things that you're interested in is the best way to get to the point where this is what I want to do, this is not what I want to do, because it's that clarity that I think is going to help you to not only have the career that you want, but also have the best health that you can have. Um, and when it comes to having the career that you want, it doesn't mean completely leaving medicine. It just means finding a role. It can be finding a role within medicine that is more appropriate to you and your health needs. Um, and sometimes it can be creating that role outside of medicine.
Amazing advice, Dr. Lewis. Thank you so much for advising the future healthcare professionals. That's the med students that are gonna watch this video. You know, with the battling with chronic illnesses. And also who are looking forward to achieving a great success in medicine and other medical specialty like radiography, public health,
Mm.
or whatever. Thank you so much. So, Dr. Lewis, we have some questions for you, remaining for you. All right. So I see that you transitioned from being a medical doctor to a life coach. So how does your experience as life coach help clients you work with, take back control of their lives, especially those living with chronic illnesses and other significant challenges? So, in a nutshell, tell us, how do you do that?
So I understand the anxiety that comes from making a change in your life. Um, and I think I help people to move past that because everyone likes the idea of change and of having the perfect life that's different from what you're living at the moment. But not everyone is likes the actual process of change and going through that struggle and overcoming that anxiety, um, because it's moving into the unknown, and that creates a lot of stress because it's uncertain and you don't know what to expect. um, you don't necessarily have control. um, so what I do is help people to create a clear plan, which is based on all of their values, um, what they really want in life, and is based on tackling their limiting beliefs. So these are the things which are holding them back. So thinking that, you know, for example, they've invested too much to make a change now, or that they're not good enough to start their own business because they don't have the experience, and all of these kind of challenges of doing unknown things. We talk about them, we look at past experiences, and basically leverage all of the skills and strengths that they have that they might have forgotten about based on their previous experiences and what they've done up to that point, and essentially motivate them to, feel empowered and strong, and that, they can do it, by just setting small, achievable goals at first, which create momentum, and give this sense of accomplishment, so that you have the clear purpose, the end goal that you're trying to get to, but then you also know that you have the benefit of having had gone through all of these little wins, which sets you up to basically feel invincible, and that you can do anything. Anything is possible if you just put your mind to it. And I really enjoy providing that kind of support to people to just really overcome that sense of uncertainty and anxiety about doing new things. And once you have that, you're basically able to do whatever you want, and you have complete control over what's happening to you in life, because you're creating it by doing these difficult things and overcoming them and winning. um, so that's how we get people back in control of their lives. It's basically, what do you really want if there's no limits, if there's no barriers, and being like, you can do that. There's obviously a process that we get to through the coaching program, but that is essentially it.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Lewis, for your time today. Like I said, let's support Dr. Lewis, because let's tell him that he's not alone, even though he's faced with, a chronic disease. Let's show him some support, on other platforms like LinkedIn and other places. Reach out to him, tell him, you know, give him some encouraging words so he can, he'll know that he's not the only one faced with that, because once we support people like this, it makes them to, especially Dr. Lewis, being particular with, makes Dr. Lewis to be more agile. Why I'm saying this is because um, one of my friends, like, where she's battled with cancer, but she survived it. You know, she felt like she was the only one in the world. Like she gave up with life and all that. So the encouraging words, the support she got, from friends and well wishers, made her to, stand back. So let's
Mm.
just to Dr. Lewis, to support his work, as a life coach. So if, like I said before, if you need a life coach, Dr. Lewis is there for you. His details will be in the YouTube description below. So if you want you have some questions about sickle cell and whatever, you can add it to the YouTube description, the comment section below, or you can reach out to Dr. Lewis on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and all the platforms as well. So also, thank you so much. Like I said before, thank you so much, Lewis, for your time. Thank you, the audience, for paying attention to this incredible session. I'm very emotional as well. So, if you love this content, do it to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Show some love as well. Share it, because people, share so that people with other chronic diseases can see that there's nothing, you know, to bother yourself. Because if you look at Dr. Lewis, you can't even know that he's faced with, some dangerous diseases, but God is your strength, and I know that you can conquer it. So I'm sorry, I'm still alive. I'm gonna show some little support, to you and your community, to show that we appreciate you, because it's not easy to face with this, because like I told you 2 days ago, I was just like seeing a lot of people like crying, faced with, especially in the UK, they're faced with
Mm.
chronic diseases like sickle cell. And sickle cell diseases, mental health, these are really rampant diseases in our current, generation. And so, yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Lewis.
You're
Love you.
welcome. And yeah, just, if anyone wants to ask me any further questions, more detailed about sickle cell and, explaining the disease a bit more and my experience, then please get in touch.